So we're just back from Italy, our little Italian road trip, so I thought I would catch you up on our holiday while getting ready. So stay tuned if you want to hear all about our trip. So hey guys, it's Becky and welcome to my channel. I do everything from plus size fashion to beauty, lifestyle, vlogging, all that good stuff every Tuesday and Thursday. So don't forget to hit subscribe down below and of course give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And hello to my lovely regulars. Thank you so much for joining me today for this little catch up. So yeah, me and my fiance have just got back from Italy. We just did an Italian road trip to Modena, Bologna, Florence and Livorno, and I've got lots of pictures. I didn't vlog it this time just because I just didn't. I took loads and loads of photos. I also uploaded lots to Instagram stories, so do go follow me over there if you want to be like watching it live. Yeah, I just thought this would be a really fun little video just to kind of like tell you about the places, if I would recommend them, what I'd recommend doing there. So maybe it will inspire you to also visit some of these places and give you some tips and tricks and things like that. So yeah, but first off, this video is sponsored by Readly and I'm really excited to be partnering with them again. I absolutely love this brand. It's a really cool app where you have access to over 8,000 different magazine and newspapers, not only from within the UK but also around the world. And me and my mum love this app because you literally have access to so many magazines within so many different categories. So you can use this app on your phone, on your tablet, and even on your laptop, and you have access to all these different magazines. It's super easy to use, and you can also favorite your favorite magazines and titles. There's everything on here from food magazines to fashion, interior, craft, sports, every type of hobby you can imagine they have on here. I recently found this magazine called Gathered and I really enjoy it. It's all to do with trends, mindfulness and creativity. So it's got a little something of everything and it's really easy to read all the content even on your phone. It's adjustable for the size of the text, which is great. They also have magazines like Stylist. I really love this magazine because I think they always do really great fashion photo shoots, and it's really great inspiration to get when you're looking for some style advice. And then I don't think I've mentioned how much I love my air fryer recently, but I found this air fryer cookbook magazine. This one has got 111 recipes for your air fryer, and I love using my air fryer to cook with. So this was a great magazine to find, but there's obviously so many other food magazines on here if you're looking for any inspiration. They literally have something for everyone on the app. Another reason why I like it is because I'm traveling so much. It does have an offline mode, so you can use it while on the aeroplane and you can read your magazines while in the air, and also other places where you might not get any signal. And also it just means you're packing way lighter. Before this I was packing books, magazines, Kindles, iPads. My backpack was getting huge, but now I just take either my phone or my tablet and it's got all the magazines that I love on there. I know another function that my mum really likes is the newspapers, and also the fact that you can fill in the crosswords or the Sudoku puzzles within the newspapers, I think is a really nifty feature. So if Readly sounds interesting to you, you can get a 2-month free trial. I do have a little QR code that you can scan here on the screen if you do fancy checking it out. Me and my mum both really enjoy the app, so I would highly suggest giving it a go. There's also a link in the description box down below if you fancy giving it a try. A massive thanks to Readly for sponsoring this portion of the video. So let's get into talking all about our little road trip to Italy. So I'm just going to mention it just for context, because I know probably all of you know already, but my fiance lives just outside of Monaco, which is around 20-minute drive to Italy. So for us, driving to Italy, it's pretty simple. We actually planned a road trip pre-COVID that never happened because of COVID. So we've actually been wanting to do an Italian road trip for a really, really long time. And we both had a little bit of time off that we had to take before like our yearly leave rolls over. So we had a week where we thought, yeah, let's go on a little Italian road trip. And we'd both been to Bologna before. We really, really liked it. And then we'd both been to Florence separately before and both really, really liked it, but really wanted to go together. And then there were a couple of other places, Modena and Livorno, that neither of us had been to. So we wanted to try them out. So that was kind of our map. It wasn't too much driving, I guess, for a road trip. JP might agree otherwise. It was just a lot of driving on the first day and the last day back to France. So our first stop was Modena. Now, Modena is probably most well known for being the birthplace of Ferrari and Lamborghini. I think Lamborghini he worked for Ferrari, and then he wanted to make some changes, and then Ferrari was like, you're just a tractor maker or something. I don't know the full story. But then Ferrari stopped working with this guy called Lamborghini, and then Lamborghini started making sports cars to kind of like, I think a big to Ferrari. So quite a funny story. But yeah, we went to the original Ferrari garage. It was 25, was it 20? How much was it, babe? 25 euros? 25 euros to get in, which I do think was a little bit expensive for like how big it was. And it basically had two areas. It had a section where they do like an exhibition, and they change the exhibition up every, I don't know how often they change it up, but at the moment it was something to do with like the different types of the four styles that Ferrari has when it comes to cars. So it was like a classic one, a modern one, a racing one, and then like something in between modern and racing, I think. So you saw like all the different colour schemes, and then they had lots of cars. I feel like if you're really, really into cars and Ferrari, it probably would have made a little bit more of an impact on you. And then there was the garage, the OG garage. I thought that it was going to be more like laid out, like it had almost been like left, like the Ferrari garage was like laid out how it was like 70 years ago. However, it was more just like showing the engines, which again, if you're really into cars, you'd be like, ooh, really interesting. I just feel like maybe it was a bit too car-y for me. But I still enjoyed it, but I wouldn't particularly go back again to do it. And I think it was quite a lot of money for like what it was. It in total for us, I don't think we even spent like an hour in the museum. We did end up sharing a bottle of Coke in the cafe because people were just like, we walked all the way here from the centre of town. It was about a 20-minute walk from our hotel. So yeah, I think we were like, well, we've spent all this money and walked all the way here. We might as well have a drink. And then there was like a driving simulator, but that was an additional 20 euros or 25 euros, which I just think it should have been included, or it should have been like 5 euros, because it was literally 4 minutes, and I treated JP to a ride for his birthday because that's coming up, because it's not something that he would have done, I don't think, on his own. And it was really fun to watch him, and it was really cool because they've got like all the different Formula One tracks, and it like jerked around and things like that. I think it was quite tricky though to like actually drive, because it's obviously going so fast. But yeah, it was really fun to watch. But yeah, I feel like it should have just been like included in the price, but I think if you've gone all the way to Modena, I know there is another factory as well that's like the new, where they actually make the cars now. Maybe that would have been the better one to go to. I do know they do like a twin ticket where you get a ticket for both, but ultimately I didn't want to spend a whole day looking at cars. That day as well, we did go to, oh babe, what was the pizza place called? Dan Michele, which is the pizza restaurant from Eat, Pray, Love, and it was a really good pizza. I do know in the summer you'd expect a queue, but because we went so off season, there was no queuing at all, and it was a beautiful pizza, really nice. The dough was really fresh. All the ingredients were really fresh and yummy. I think that's just the basis for a good pizza, really, like just the best quality, freshest ingredients you can get. It's going to make a good pizza. So we both really enjoyed that. And then for dinner, we tried to get into this restaurant that was I think like number 1 or number 2 on TripAdvisor. We called, and they never picked up the phone to make a reservation. So we just thought, oh well, we'll just go see if we can get a table. We get there, there's a sign on the door saying fully booked all night. And we're thinking, well, how did they book? Because they couldn't get a call. But JP managed to get us a reservation for the following night, but we would only have the table for an hour and a half, but we were fine with that. Like, we didn't want to stick around and have like a really long dinner, but we were really excited to try this restaurant. And on a Monday night in winter, it was really hard to find another restaurant that was like good and open. We ended up finding somewhere just like on a square somewhere, and it was fine. I think it was like a tiny bit of a tourist trap. It was a little bit expensive for the area, but it was tasty. I had tortellini and brodo, and we shared like a charcuterie board, and that was really good. The next day was really fun, definitely like a highlight of the trip. We went to a Parmesan factory and a balsamic factory tour. This was, it's like a highlight, something I've always been like really interested in. Both me and JP are really like into our food. So yeah, it was such a highlight of the trip, especially like going into the aging room in the Parmesan factory. Like, I've seen it so many times like on the TV, but to actually like be allowed to go in there ourselves was just really cool. And just the sheer volume of the cheese they're producing was crazy, and like learning about how strict they are for the specific cheese, and like it was just so interesting. We actually got to see it being made because they can only make it between 5 a.m. and noon because the milk can't be refrigerated. It has to literally come from the cow to the factory, no refrigeration, otherwise it's not, you can't get the stamp. So yeah, really crazy, super interesting, and yeah, loved every minute of that. It was really great. The balsamic was also really interesting. I'll link these down below. They were the Parmesan cheese one was I think €20 each, and you got like a tasting at the end. The balsamic one was completely free and had a lovely museum, which was like the old manor house of the family that owns the balsamic company, and that was like recently renovated, and it had like so many interesting things, and you got like a full tour of the museum, and the woman like explained like everything, because we had a quick look around it before because we were just waiting for the tour to start, but honestly having her kind of explain everything, it made it all make sense a little bit more than when we were just looking at it ourselves. I'm not a massive fan of balsamic vinegar, but it was just so cool to like hear the history, see how it's made, and then we did do a bit of tasting at the end. I started choking a bit because it was so strong, but JP ended up getting some, but it was really interesting to kind of hear all the difference about the vinegar and what it needs to be to get a certain accreditation and all that sort of stuff. So that was really cool. And then in the afternoon, I think it started raining, which wasn't great. The weather was a little bit hit and miss on this trip, but it's Feb, so what can you expect? But we went to a Dali exhibition. It was fine. It was kind of B-rate Dali pieces. I was hoping to see like one of his more like famous pieces, but obviously they'll probably be in a gallery somewhere in like Paris or Florence or something. So it was pretty cheap to go in though. I think it was like €7 or something like that each. And it had some sculptures, it had some posters. We were literally the only people there in the exhibition, which was quite nice because it meant we could actually just like chat and stuff between us. But yeah, it was something for us, I think, to fill our afternoon, because one thing about Modena is it's very quiet. It's a very quiet city. It is a city, but it's just, I think because you've got quite a few heavy hitters around like Bologna and Florence, it was just quite a sleepy city. There wasn't many people around, even like during the day it wasn't that busy, and like the main kind of like shopping street area, it wasn't crazy busy, so there wasn't loads and loads to do, and I ultimately think a day is really all you need. The Ferrari Museum, and I'd say doing those factory tours were like the highlight. But yeah, we went to the Dali exhibition just to kind of fill up our time. We then went to that restaurant that I told you about, and it was okay. They ended up serving me cold lasagna. And the service wasn't particularly friendly. So I think for somewhere that was rated so highly, I was a bit disappointed. But JP really liked his. He had a risotto made with like red wine, and it was like purple, and it was actually really tasty. But yeah, I was just disappointed to get lasagna that was cold, because I was just like, well. And then they brought it back microwaved, and I was like, well, I could just have microwave lasagna at home like any night of the week. So that was disappointing. I wouldn't go back to that restaurant, and to be honest, I probably would have had one of those pizzas again because they were so good. So then the next day we stayed in a hotel it's a chain, but I think they just kind of buy up random hotels. It was called Hotel Fee, and this was the one in Bologna. It was like stepping into the 80s. It really needed a renovation, but it was right in the heart of Modena, and there was parking, so it was fine. It was a comfortable set. I think we got upgraded as well to like a balcony terrace room, but it was so kind of like miserable and grey that we never actually went on the terrace. But yeah, it was a comfortable enough stay. Then we went to Bologna the next day, and we stayed in the Hotel Fee in Bologna, and that one's really nice. We stayed in the same hotel in the summer, and we really, really liked it. So we stayed there again. The hotel breakfast at this place, guys, is so nice. It's kind of one of the reasons we go back there, because I really love the buffet breakfast. They've got like loads of really good local produce. But the location of this hotel is so good. And like the rooms are just really nice, and they have really strong AC in the summer. So we just wanted to book the same hotel again, just because we really liked it. But we love Bologna. We love the kind of like the couple of market streets where all like the mortadella is, and you can have charcuterie boards. So of course we went there for lunch, and we actually went to a different place this time. We went to the place where they've almost got like every shop there, called Simone, and we had a grand board which we almost finished, to be fair. And it has, you know, lots of different things from mortadella, prosciutto. There was some other interesting food, but I will say the thing that I liked about it, there was nothing on there that was horrible, because the last one we had some like brawny type stuff, and neither of us touched that. But this, you could eat everything on there. It was all really yummy. Some different types of cheeses were also really good. I would highly suggest going to that going to that area and getting a charcuterie board, because they're also really reasonably priced as well, I think. We then also went back to the oldest bar in Bologna. It's just somewhere we both enjoy going. It's really fun to people watch there. You're not allowed to film in there, so I feel like that's why they've not gone like TikTok viral, which I think everyone likes, because it just means that it's not full of people just trying to be there, if you know what I mean, like just for the sake of it. And also there's a lot of locals in there as well, which is really nice. I'll leave the TripAdvisor page to that place down below if you fancy going there, but it's really, really cheap drinkies, and you all have to kind of like share tables and stuff like that. And you can also take food in there from the markets, from the delis, so that's really cool as well if you want a place to eat the goodies that you've picked up. We also went back to a fragrance shop we really, really like. I really trust the guy there to recommend me fragrances that I've never heard of before, and he dealt with us in the summer, and yeah, it was just a lovely experience. So we went back and saw him, and he recommended us both a perfume in each, and I got JP one for his birthday. I am going to do a video showing everything that I got on the trip, like a little haul. And then we went to a fabulous trattoria. I can't remember the name, but everything will be down in the description box. Highly recommend this restaurant if you're in Bologna. Even if you're just there for a day, this was where I would go. The service was incredible. Definitely book and make sure you get a confirmation, because we booked and didn't get a confirmation. I don't know what happened, but they were really nice and were able to find us a table. I think it was like the last table they had, but the service was so good. The waiters were really funny, charming. They explained all the food, like, was just so good. I had this like duck ragu, which was so rich and flavourful. JP had the sausage pasta, and then I had the dessert sampler at the end, and all of it was delicious. Highly recommend that place. And then yeah, we just kind of like had a mooch around the town for the rest of the day. But yeah, we just really like Bologna. It's definitely a place where you could stay maybe like a couple of days max. I wouldn't stay there for like any longer really than 2 days, because like there is only so much to do, but when you do stay there, it's really good. Then we went to Florence and stayed in a hotel called Hotel Dali. We'll get onto that later. But Florence, oh my gosh, I love it. I went there a long time ago on a cruise, so I think we were literally there for maybe 6 hours max, and I always remember liking Florence. So it was so nice to have a little more time to explore it. I still feel like there's more Florence to explore. There's so many more museums that I would want to go back and look at. The hotel was very, very central. It was literally 5-minute walk from the Duomo kind of square. So it was a really good location. So the first day we went and had an ice cream. The weather was beautiful on the first day, really nice and like sunshine. Everyone was like drinking outside. Trying to think what we did next. We went and got some viral sandwiches from the Instagram, TikTok viral place. We only had to queue for about 20 minutes, which is good. Some people are queuing like 2 hours for sandwiches in the summer, which is wild. We had a mooch around the shoppy shops. I just kind of had a look around Florence, to be honest. It was, yeah, really, really nice. And then we went to, I think it's like the 11th best restaurant on TripAdvisor, and had a gorgeous Florentine steak. I have always wanted to try one of these steaks. They are immense, and the service was really great. They like brought the steak out to you and they weighed it in front of you, so you knew exactly like you were getting what you were paying for. Because I think some places say it weighs more than it actually is. So you can like see with your own eyes, and they were like, are you happy with this piece? And then they bring it out and it's all carved, and obviously we said we wanted it served like how it's traditionally served, which is very rare. but we're both fine with that. But yeah, pre-warning, if you get it how it's done traditionally, it's very rare. And we both said next time we probably would get it like medium rare, just so it was a little bit more cooked. But it was really, really delicious. And we also had a starter, and it was called a vegetable flan with pecorino cream. It was like a spinach souffle, just in a cheese fondue. It was delicious and like really unexpected. And then the dessert, I got a mille-feuille, but it had cinnamon apple compote in it as well. Just like delicious. Like that was such a good meal. The next day was Valentine's Day, was torrential rain and thunder and lightning. It was awful weather the whole day. We headed over to the market in the morning because we both love looking around markets. But yeah, it was the weather was so bad. So we were just, it was horrible walking to that market because it was like 15-minute walk in just torrential rain. We were drenched, but we ended up having a coffee. I had a croissant cube, and then we had a good look around all the stalls, and we picked up some sausages, some like pasta, all sorts of bits and bobs. We then went to the Uffizi along with basically everyone else in Florence because, as I said, it was chucking it down. And that was really nice, having a look at all the really old paintings and things. I'm trying to remember, like Botticelli, Michelangelo. Who else, babe? Give me some names, make me look cultured. Rembrandt. The big three. And we saw the Venus picture, which was really cool. And there was lots of sculptures and things like that. The Uffizi is definitely like one to tick off the list. But I think next time we go, we'd probably look at a different gallery because I think there's so many other galleries in Florence. We then went to Porto Vecchio where we got our wedding bands on Valentine's Day. So if you don't know what Porto Vecchio is, it is the bridge with all of the like houses and buildings on, and for whatever reason it's now just like where they sell gold and jewellery. So we thought it would be really cute if we bought our wedding bands there on Valentine's Day, and we got sized up and tried them all on, and it was a really fun experience. I didn't realise maybe like how much wedding bands were. I thought they were going to be a little less than what they ended up being, but we did end up kind of going away first and like having a little look online. And to be fair, like after VAT tax return and stuff, there really wasn't that much price difference with back home. And also it was really nice to have been like sized up there. So essentially, you know, we knew they were going to fit properly and look right with my engagement ring and things like that. So we got our rings, and then we went for a lovely little romantic dinner at La Giostra, which ended up being literally like 3-minute walk from our hotel, which was amazing. It's quite a well-known Taverna type restaurant. Will Smith had been there. I was sat behind a picture of him, and we shared 3 different pastas. The cacio de pepe with lard. It sounds horrific. I'm like, ooh, lard. It was so creamy. There was no bits of lard in it whatsoever. I think the lard, it was just like cooked in it, like fat, like butter. So it was so creamy, so delicious. We also had a beautiful saffron risotto with like a red onion chutney on the top. And then we had the beef ragu. I think the cacio de pepe was our favourite. The risotto was second. And the ragu was fine. I think at that point we were just quite full anyway. But that was a beautiful... Oh, and the cheesecake there was fabulous. It was a little bit more expensive than I'd say other places. But again, you really do have to reserve that place as well. But that was really good. And then there was also an Irish bar just down the road, and JP loves a Guinness. So we actually went there before and after because, got to do something that the boy wants on Valentine's Day. And they did good cocktails too, so I wasn't too upset. And then the next day we kind of like turned the other way. So you turn left to go to the Dome, and we turned right this time from our hotel. And that went into more of like a local area where we went to the more local market. That was really cool. there was more of like a thrifty market and things like that. And yeah, because we decided to stay in Florence like a little bit longer than we'd planned, like spend the morning there rather than like shoot off straight away. So that was really, really nice. And then we headed to Livorno. Livorno has these like canals, which is like said to be a bit like Little Venice. Livorno was fine. It was like a nice little town, and I think if you're taking a cruise from there, it'd be nice to stay there the night before. Would I go back there again to like visit Livorno? No, so I don't think there's that much to do there. But if you are catching a cruise from there, definitely stay at Agave in the city. It was a stunning hotel. Like really, I feel like it was been renovated really recently. It had a pool, had a gym, sauna, this beautiful like courtyard in the middle, and everyone had like balconies looking inwards. It was just a really, really beautiful hotel, and if you stayed there the night before, it would just feel like your holiday starting early. Yeah, it was so nice. So yeah, super recommend that hotel. And we went to a lovely restaurant, and I had some fish, but we had to find somewhere where because JP doesn't really like fish, so we were trying to find a restaurant that serves seafood as well as meat, and we found a great one. So again, I will link everything down below because I can't remember all the names. But that was the end of our trip. Yeah, it was such a good little road trip. I really want to go back to Florence. I'm just trying to find a lippy to put on. Let's just put this one on. Yeah, I really want to go back to Florence. I absolutely loved it. I feel like there's so many more galleries and like places to explore. We didn't really explore the other side of the bridge either. So yeah, I just feel like I would love to go back to Florence, and we'll stop at Bologna on the way because I love Bologna. Modena was really nice. Again, though, probably wouldn't stop there again, and probably same with Livorno, but overall it was just a really great fun week. And yeah, we ate our way through Italy and it was really good. A huge thanks to Readly for sponsoring this video as well. Don't forget to scan this QR code or click the link in the description box if you fancy trying Readly for 2 months for free. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and leave me comments down below. Where are you off to this year on holiday? Do you have any recommendations for me and JP? We'd love to hear them down below, and I'll see you later. Bye.